So I'm super excited. Um, I'm going to be introducing you to a woman who is known as a super conscious solution facilitator. And she's part of the project, obviously. And we were having a conversation and she was telling me about what she does. And so the conversation came up to, why don't I show you what I do? And I was like, you know what? Sometimes, when you just need to experience someone's work and then you can put something to it. And I was like, sure, that was game. And ironically, she's like, well, when are you free? And I'm like, tonight. And I wasn't free, but I made free. You know what I mean? I was like, this is pretty good. And she's like, has anything kind of happened lately? And I just happened to have had what another one of our speakers calls a tower moment. And if you understand tarot, you understand tower. Tower is an immediate change that you kind of didn't see coming. So I'm like, well, yeah, actually I do. And I got to experience her work. And what I loved about it is when she explained that she works with the subconscious of the subconscious. And I'm like, oh, that's powerful. Because we know that we have a conscious brain and then we have a subconscious brain that kind of overrides everything. And then it was like, what's running that subconscious? Anyways, I had an incredible experience. I'm talking about Michelle McEwan, who is here today with the beautiful artwork in the back. And so she is going to talk about how to uncover your heart and find your voice. And I find it very interesting because when I was having that session with her, at a certain point, she's like, we do some work and then she's like, well, let's work on this piece. And it was about, asking, being able to feel comfortable asking. And I'm like, no, I think I got that. She's like, no, I think we should work on that. And I was like, okay, Deb, just be the student. And so I did. And I had a very interesting flashback of a situation where I decided that I wasn't going to ask for what I needed. It was very interesting. And I was like, wow, but it has been enlightening. And, that granular work. And I know, Sarah, you know what I'm talking about, that granular work that we do. So she's going to talk about that. Now, she has a gift for everybody. And so everybody is going to have this beautiful, incredible meditation. And we just talked about the power of meditation. Many people have talked about the power of meditation. And she has an $800 program that she is going to gift the one lucky winner. She's going to talk about it more herself. It's called Uncover Your Heart and Find Your Voice. And it's 5 full sessions. I had one. I was like, whoo, it was amazing. Okay. Her favorite music is Annie Lennox. Who doesn't love Annie Lennox? Remember Annie Lennox, right? Remember Annie Lennox? Man, that was some serious girl power. And the album that she loves is Bear. And the one thing that you may not know about Michelle is that now you might think she lives in New Zealand when I say this, but she does not live in New Zealand. She lives in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And she grew 200 pounds of kiwis last year. I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, they grow really well here. So anyways, that's something that you do not know about Michelle. So Michelle, thank you so much and welcome to the Stand Up, Speak Up, Show Up.
Thank you so much, Deb, for that amazing introduction. You gave me goosebumps. I just am so excited to be here. We have learned so much from everybody this morning, and I think this is just going to take us to the next level because I am really impassioned and excited about this topic, and I want to shout it out from the rooftops. If I appear nervous, it's because I am kind of a newbie to this entrepreneur world. I am a new entrepreneur. This is my first speaking gig. So it's not my zone of genius yet. My zone of genius is really working with people. I've been an occupational therapist in mental health for 22 years. So I really work closely with people on recovering lives that are meaningful and satisfying to them in the presence of illness. That's what I do in my day job. And this coaching gig is now going to be my next vision, my next future. I am on a mission with Superconscious Solution, the business I'm running, to spread more love and compassion in the world, one heart at a time. Because I found the solution, the Superconscious Solution. I'm going to hold up you don't need to read it, but the technique that I'm doing is called MAP, Make Anything Possible. And that is the certificate I recently received, February 1st, 2023. And I have to say, I have 2 university degrees, not one, but 2, and I have neither of them framed. This came through and I framed it, and I am so proud of it. And I'm not necessarily proud for the work it took, because I'm good at hard work. That I can do really well. I'm proud because I really feel that this is a frontier science. It's a frontier modality that is going to help change people's lives like nothing I have seen yet. I think it's maybe equivalent to this EHT we're talking about is something in the nutrition. I think the MAP method and the superconscious solution is as equivalently powerful to help change people's lives. So that's why I'm excited. What is it all about? Connecting with our hearts. Many of us live so much of our lives in our heads, right? We get up, we have the to-do list, we check the boxes off, we are busy, we are moms, we're doing it all. We get to the end of the day and we go to bed and we do it all again. I know I wasn't connecting with my heart very often. Let's just do a short exercise. If it feels comfortable to you, put your hand on your heart. Mine's really beating. Close your eyes if that is comfortable for you. You don't have to. And just take a couple breaths through your heart space. You can take the staircase down from your mind, a nice, beautiful spiral staircase, into your heart space and see what is there for you now. Maybe some gratitude for being here today, maybe some excitement for all that you're learning, whatever's there, just notice it. And as you breathe with your lungs, I like to picture my lungs as a big heart in my chest. Breathing out, breathing in love for me and out love for everybody else. In love I serve is my mantra, and this is really what I'm hoping to spread with Superconscious Solution. So just try to listen from that heart space if you can. I want to talk a little bit about my journey to get here and how I can fast forward the journey for you when you work with me in Superconscious Solution. So my life involved a lot, like everybody else, we all have our own version. A lot of little T's, little traumas, and a couple big T's, big traumas. I'm not going to go into the details because it's not important. What is important, oh, my phone's vibrating. What is important is what happens when we have these experiences. Each and every one of us came into this world as a beautiful little baby, inherent, with an inherent right to love, to worthiness. I don't know anybody really who looks at a baby and says, oh, no, that baby has to have a thigh gap before we can love that baby. That baby needs to lose 20 pounds. That baby needs to this. I mean, we might have expectations. We want the best for these little creatures, but they have a birthright of inherent love and worthiness. And guess what? So do we. But then life happens. We have these little T's and big T's and experiences. And that, in my experience, has covered up our hearts, has put these layers of dirt and muck and stories on top of our beautiful shining hearts. So here I was, this young adult, in my late 20s after those 2 degrees, talk about searching for worthiness, starting my career, having experienced all these little T's and big T's. And there were some stories I was telling myself that I was totally unaware of. Somebody today talked about awareness. I was totally unaware. I was just trying to do the thing you're supposed to do. Job, house, car, boyfriend, do all those things, right? Looking back now, of course, I can see I was terribly, terribly insecure. Terribly, terribly fake it till you make it, which a lot of us do. Is not necessarily a terrible strategy. But I was living with the effects of it, always looking for external validation, going to school to get validation from the grades I got, looking to others to make me feel happy, numbing, using food, sugar, booze, shopping, all of that stuff to help make me feel better, not connecting with my heart at all. Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great place to be. And I was working in mental health. So that was my saving grace, because anything that I was going to work with clients on, I was going to learn myself. So the journey I took first is mindfulness stress reduction program, John Kabat-Zinn. I love John Kabat-Zinn. I learned that is awareness. That is the first piece, awareness, mindfulness. Okay, I could detach, get a little bit of distance from my thoughts and my emotions. I did not have to believe them. I did not have to get stuck in them. I could be in the present moment and have a break from the chaos in my head. And in that present moment, I could have some relief. This was a great first step in my journey. Thank you, John Kabat-Zinn. Then I found the work of Kristen Neff and Chris Germer, the Mindful Self-Compassion Institute. They are a great organization and they have wonderful books and classes, and I did a deep dive for about 3 years. Super, super, super helpful. So now I could apply some self-compassion to those mindful moments, which meant I could notice my suffering and be kind to myself. So it takes away the second arrow. I didn't have to beat myself up. And you know what I learned was that there were other intelligent mental health professionals who felt the same way as me, which was what I had when I started to be aware of the stories I was telling myself, when I started to be aware of my internal voice. Oh man, I was mean. I was really mean. I would walk around all day with this voice in my head going, you can't do that, right? What are you doing? Why would you do it that way? It was really hard. It was a weight pulling me down every day that I was slogging through just to show up in the world. That internal critic was loud and proud. And the mindfulness piece made me aware of her. That's great. The self-compassion piece made me turn towards her and gently say, thank you, but no thank you. But she was still showing up. She was still showing up because all of these stories from the little T's and the big T's that hadn't really been addressed, all of these stories that I made up about myself were still running the show. Yeah, the programming that another speaker, Sandy, spoke. My programming, once I dug into it a little bit, was all about unlovability, unworthiness, not good enough, broken, bad, rotten, and I was hiding that secret from the world. I was hiding it, and that takes a lot of energy to hide your heart from the world. It really does. And I'm sharing this today because I'm feeling vulnerable, but we need, many people feel this way. Many, many, many people feel this way. And they are just stories. And yes, we can change our stories and we can actually change our programming. So this comes to the next nugget on my find is the Make Anything Possible method. This is, there's the Make Anything Possible Institute where I got my certification from, and I found it thanks to Facebook, which is actually where I found all of these all of these things. And Colette Stryker is the founder along with her son Valentine, and her face beams on Facebook, beams. She radiates this energy of love and light. And when you do a session with her, she is that way. And I did a session with her, and oh man, I was bought in. I'm going to do it. I did their programs. I changed more in a year than the 22 years of being an adult, or however long. I don't know how I've been an adult longer than that, but anyway, because those beliefs, those stories can be shifted with the MAP method, the Make Anything Possible method. So how do we do that? Why do I call it the superconscious solution? My timer went off, but I think we're okay. I didn't even press start on the timer. I'm going to rely on you, Deb. Oh my gosh, newbie mistake. So anyway, why do I call the program Superconscious Solution? Well, the MAP method uses your superconscious mind. So this is a revelation that Dr. Gary Flint out of Vernon discovered, that wrote a book on it, and Colette took it and developed the program. Inside of us, we have an inner healer that I didn't know existed till I took the MAP program. This inner healer is our highest self that has been with us ever since we came out and has been alongside us the whole time. And our highest self has really the highest intentions for us, the highest wisdom for us, and is connected to source and whatever language you want to use about that. Our highest self is curious, calm, confident, compassionate, creative, clear, courageous, connected. So when you're in that flow state, you can all remember the last time you were in that flow state where you were getting the downloads or where you were feeling really in flow with your activity, calm, compassionate, curious, connected. That is when you are acting in your highest self, in your wisest self. And I think we all know those moments are awesome. I usually get goosebumps. I feel tingly. I call it my sparkle suit. It's when I know I'm connected. So this inner healer inside of us, we can actually form a real relationship with it, and it can treat and heal and neutralize those limiting beliefs and negative stories and negative emotions and the programming. It can treat and heal that programming so that it doesn't have to program us, I guess. I think of it as the glasses, the lens through which I see the world. Yeah. So I already told you one of my core beliefs was I am unlovable. So the lenses that I was looking through to the world, I was always looking for proof that I was unlovable. So my husband, dear, I love him, but for many years, all I was looking for were all the times that he confirmed that he didn't love me by some slip or some misword or some lack that he didn't do. That's all I was looking for. Change the glasses. And now I'm much more consistently looking for all the times he does demonstrate that I am lovable. I can see it. And when I change my glasses, it all comes to me. It all comes to me, and it's effortless. So if you think of your mind like a garden, we'll go with the spring theme. Our mind garden, if you think of all the weeds in the garden as our programming. So it's the limiting beliefs, it's the difficult negative emotions, it's the emotional patterns that we frequently find ourselves getting into those emotional reactions of intense heightened emotions. Those are old stories coming up. There are parts of us, I'm getting into the parts now, I hope it doesn't get too weird. The ladies behind me are my parts, the part that loves to eat chocolate, the part that loves to go swimming, and the part that loves the ocean, right? We all have lots and lots of parts in us, and we can tell when there's a part running the show is usually when we're doing something that is not really in alignment with our goals, but we're doing it anyway. We can tell when we finish eating that bag of chips and we're like, I just did that? What? A part was running the show. And these parts were all created in the little T's and big T's of our life. Back to the mind garden metaphor. So the weeds are those parts. They're anything that we're not in our highest self. The parts, the limiting beliefs, the difficult emotions, the disempowerment. Okay, your superconscious mind can go in and pull those weeds. And the beauty of it all is the superconscious mind can get to the roots. And you don't even have to know what the roots are. or where they're coming from. It doesn't even have to be in your conscious memory. So things that happen to you when you were in that we state can be neutralized. And then superconscious can find the pattern of how all the weeds interact and pull out big chunks of weeds, right? It's amazing. And so, Deb, when you're talking your example of how you had this flash to a memory, that was your superconscious mind finding the roots and helping heal those roots. It's so cool. So then you've got your garden, your superconscious, the gardener, has pulled all this stuff. You've got a beautiful bare patch in your garden. In a full session, we have time to plant seeds. So what new beliefs would you like? I am lovable, no matter what. I am good enough, no matter what. Right? I am safe. That was another big one for me. I am safe. I create my own safety, no matter what. So we plant those seeds, and then we use the superconscious mind to wire the neurons together, right? So that when you're done the session, you feel totally empowered, and this new belief has been planted in you. There is some work to, really get it growing, watering, and blooming. But once it's planted, half the battle's done. It is, yes, I am safe and lovable, somebody put in. That is a biggie. Imagine if you really felt that in your bones, So who is Superconscious Solution for? I really think it's for everybody. I think this is having my superconscious mind as my best friend throughout my day, every day, is life-changing. And I really want everybody to know. I use my superconscious mind every day. I've used it 3 times today before this. I used it to connect with Source to say that the words would come. I used it the other day when I was afraid of heights to kick that fear to the curb and rewire or reinforce fun and adventure when at heights. And you can use it for anything and everything. I used it last night when my husband pissed me off. And I'm like, okay, it's all right. It's just my old beliefs coming through again. Breathe, find my voice, deal with this from a high, wise self place, right? It gets us out of reaction mode. Anytime we're in reaction mode, it's an old part. And it's not a bad thing. There are no bad parts. But we can learn to look at them as opportunities to heal. And the superconscious mind is there for you. And with Map on the Go, you just do it. Nobody knows you're doing it. And it's like, superconscious, please help me feel calm. Please help me feel connected. Please help me heal this. So it's for everybody and anybody. It has allowed me to find my voice. It's taken me from, working, quietly with my one-on-one clients in the healthcare world to here on this stage, wanting to spread this news, this method to the world. And so I think it can help you if anybody's feeling stuck in a pattern or feeling like it's hard to show up, or the same limiting belief keeps coming up. Well, it doesn't need to. And this is really fast. I have to say, Deb had an intro session, which is really just a taster. So it is, it really only took one session for me to get through my lovability belief, right? One session for my good enough belief, right? So it is a really fast, effective technique, and we don't do a lot of talking. It's not like counseling or therapy where you talk it out. We can do some talking, but it's not, the work is internal, and it's your superconscious mind doing the work. So in that way, you're very much a participant, but your role is more of a curious, mindful observer from your heart space. I don't know how I'm doing. Anybody?
I think you got maybe 1 or 2 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
You want to share about your gift that you're giving and how Yeah, you've got a free gift for everybody and what
Yes,
that
yes.
is.
I
And then,
put it in the um I put it in the chat. So the meditation that you can link to, please tell me if the link doesn't work, is a chakra meditation. So like I said, you can use your superconscious mind through anything. So it does help me meditate because I just ask superconscious to please help my mind settle. Please help me focus and relax. Please help take away anything that I don't need here at this moment. And so I'm sharing with you a chakra meditation. It does have some super conscious commands. You would not have received the training yet, but that is it's okay. It just might not be as effective until you have some training. So how you get the brain training is really with an intro package or intro session, and I've bundled that into a package where you get an intro session and a coaching call so we could see how what you want to work on, and a full session. So that would be normally $200, and I'm offering a coupon to everybody here, Joy50, where you could get 50% off that package. So the chakra thing is there, it's free. Take it and run with it. The intro package is 50% off. If you go to my website, which I put in the chat as well, you can also sign up for my newsletter, and you would get a different meditation, which is the river to your heart meditation to help you connect with your heart space. These are all short, little kind of taster meditations. They're still lovely. We all have busy lives. I think short is sometimes really helpful. And then the free prize is my Uncover Your Voice and Find Your Heart package. So you would get the intro session and 5 full sessions, one hand, 5, 5 full sessions to, you would really be able to clear a lot and plant a lot of seeds in 5 sessions.
awesome. Everybody give her some love. She was, this was one of her first time kind of going for it. And you did fantastic, Michelle. Look at it. She's in this like blue, like she's got this blue button around her. I was like, she's even wearing blue headphones. And if you know the color blue, it's all about relationship and circle. And she's got blue on and a blue wall. And I'm like, you are glowing. And I loved how you talked about that story of that person where you saw and you happened to see her on Facebook and she was glowing and illuminating for you. And I think we can all relate to when we either say the students ready, the teachers appear, or the teachers ready and the students appear. I mean, I think we're all of one, we're all students and we're all teachers. And it reminded me of some stories that have happened for me around that, right? I think we can all, and we'll kind of share some stories, but I remember when I found my real estate agent. And here's the beautiful thing. Sometimes it doesn't happen momentarily. I was at a women's networking group. It was actually a goddess circle. And this woman stood up who I didn't know. And she was either stood up or sitting down. And she talked about how she did real estate. And the voice inside said to me, when you want to buy a piece of real estate, you're going to call her. I mean, it was years before I was ready to buy real estate. And that's who I called. It was like, sometimes when you get really quiet and I remember going into, I just talked about not doing sugar. And so I was pregnant and I wanted a muffin. I wanted a muffin. And so my daughter's father drove me 45 minutes to get a friggin' muffin from the only place back then, she's 30, that didn't have sugar. And I walked in and as I was leaving, I caught a flyer to the corner of my eye. It was pink. And I was on my way to go get a degree in women's studies. I wanted to work with women on economic platform in third world countries. And whoop, I got pregnant with my daughter. So no 4-year course for me. I'm pregnant, go get a muffin. And I get this flyer. And that flyer started my, 27-year career in massage, healing 30,000 people. Right. And even with Angel, when I found Angel, I was looking and researching and looking for someone to do that back end of the book piece and the PR piece and I just happened to be talking to this woman and I had already pretty well made a decision. And this woman I was talking to, I'm like, yeah, just happened to have a call that morning. Oh, blah, 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 and this is what I'm doing. She's like, I have someone I think you should talk to. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty decided. She's like, her name's Angel. I'm like, well, okay, that wins. And so I had a conversation with Angel and I knew instantly. Like I just knew instantly. And so I love how you shared that about your experience, because the question that I have for everyone to win that amazing package that Michelle just shared is that, she didn't go study that, but how many university degrees did she have before she studied that? So how many did she have? And put your email address. And Angel, I'm going to pass it over to you. I mean, what about Michelle's sharing triggered off for you?
I felt like the timing for Michelle to come in to the event today was just really divine. All the energy and all the things that we had been doing, but to bring us back and to center and to listen to our heart, because we just have it all inside of us. But I think we tend to just take in a lot of external noise. And so I thought her timing was just really beautiful. And I had just done my little salt scrub. So my hands are super soft. Now I've made a little oily mess all over my desk, right? So I did not really think this through, like how my hands are going to be greasy now after this. So forgive me if your space is now a little greasy. But I was like listening to her, and I just was like being able to like take it in as I was like feeling my skin is so soft now, and listening to my heart. And I just like so grateful, just so
Mhm.
grateful for her to step into this space that's brand new, right? This world of speaking. But like she didn't have to be anybody else but Michelle. And it was just perfect. And so I just loved that. And I was just super grateful that we could receive you. I got the perfect time during this summit. I just thought the timing was just very divine. So thank you.